everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Get Ready With Me. This is where I ramble and I talk about things while I do my hair and makeup. And I know the quality's bad. Someday, I'll have like a nicer setup, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. I got other shit going on. So I did some things I said I wasn't going to do. The most important thing is I voted early. My cousin texted me yesterday and said the polls were open. So I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to change my mind at this point. I'm just going to go do it. So I voted early. And I voted for Trump. That's another thing I had said this whole campaign season that I wasn't going to do. And then I frickin' did it. I like some of his campaign methods. And I don't want 4 more years of the Democrats. I decided, I learned a lot about myself this campaign season. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I've kind of figured myself out through and through politically. I'm definitely not a Democrat. I'm a registered Republican. I'm not necessarily like for all the Republicans. Oh God, that's another thing I did. I did something I said I was never gonna do, and in Michigan, we have straight party voting, and I did that. I've always been against it because I think it is a leftist tactic to get their, like, people in Detroit, for example, to not make informed decisions. They're just like Democrat, because that's a very Democratic city. I'm curious about this time, though. Things have kind of changed. So I'll be really interested to see how Detroit does. So, anyway, yeah, straight party voting. Ugh, I did it. But, you know what? The Democrats, I've like learned a lot about them too, and it's not you and me. I'm talking about the bigger picture here. The people on the top, the entity. They have a very racist history, and I think they still do. They just disguise it now. Sometimes they disguise it as humanitarianism, and if we learn one thing from Hitler, he was a humanitarian before he was a horrible dictator that did some ethnic cleansing, which this country has a history of too. So anyway, I don't know what color eyeshadow to wear today. I'm indecisive. Let's just go through. I'll just keep talking while I'm going through my makeup. I need to go to Five Below. Because here's something else that's kind of changed about me. My last trip to Ulta was very disappointing. The store was dirty. I kind of thought, the girls, the people who work there can be kind of snooty. But whatever, the beauty community is freaking toxic as hell. And I was underwhelmed. It was like there was nothing to buy. I bought my daughter some lip gloss, some Hello Kitty lip gloss. And we left and we went to Five Below, and there was just this like plethora of makeup for cheap. And honestly, I'm not like dissatisfied with anything I bought there. And they also have LA Colors and LA Girl. So LA Girl owns LA Colors. Like this, for example, I bought this at Dollar General. This is one of the best lip glosses I have ever bought in my entire life. It was $2. It's gold. So like today, if I wear browns or something, I can wear that gold lip gloss and it'll match. Oh man. I already did that. Man. I need makeup. So I'm going to be taking a trip to Five Below soon, where I can buy some makeup. Yeah, Ulta. I'm not even going to give them my money anymore. And if I order online, they have a lot more available online. But every time I order something from Ulta, something comes broken. There's no care whatsoever in packaging this stuff. That's one thing I'll give pharmacy. That MLM that I joined that one time is like when they package things, they were like hardcore about that. So, so yeah, Ulta bad, Ulta very bad. I'm not like a Sephora shopper. My mom goes to Sephora. That I don't wear fancy high-end makeup. I'm not in, I'm not working in a corporate office. I don't know. I don't have that kind of money right now. So anyway, let's see. I voted. The Democrats fell apart for me kind of early on. Because although I was a Kamala supporter, I didn't like Gretchen Whitmer. And I think Gretchen Whitmer's a dictator. 100%. Do not even get me on a rant about Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah. So, I criticized her, and my comments were deleted, and I was bullied. People started bullying me, trying to silence me on it about what a wonderful, great leader she is. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of creepy. It's like, I can support one Democrat and criticize the other. It's not all or nothing. But they see it that way. Or that's how these people were seeing it. And, censorship is like something I don't like. I value free speech. People, it was like men on the left in particular. Okay, so somebody in a group, one of my local groups, made a point. He called them closet misogynist, and I have to agree, because my experience with men on the left is that they want to... First, before I get into that, women are marginalized worldwide, okay? No matter where you live, women are marginalized. Femicide is an epidemic all over the world. But the left kind of has this way of making it seem like it's about our rights. That's how they kind of suck us in, is that they're going to be there to defend our rights. Nobody wants to lose their rights. I get it. But it's like, instead of striving, moving forward, being progressive towards creating a society in which women can thrive and do what we were supposed to do instead of being shamed, that would be more for our rights. That would be more pro-woman. I think abortion is the war on women. And I think the right kind of falls short a little bit when they make it about murder. People have differing opinions on that. It's controversial, too controversial for this channel. I see it more as, okay, and then I like re-recorded this. I just want to make a disclaimer. Okay, in my last video or the video before, I said I was bisexual. So I'm with you, okay? However, I think on the left, and I'm not talking about you and me, I'm talking about the people up there, they're culturally appropriating women. So women are marginalized worldwide. So we're told that, as white people, and I happen to agree. I agree with this. I don't really think we should culturally appropriate marginalized people. I think it's wrong. That's just my opinion. So why is it okay for men to do it to women? Why is it okay for men to put on women's clothing and makeup, like drag queens, for example, that is cultural appropriation of women. You know, whatever. Drag queens can do it. I think you can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not going to stand outside your drag show and protest. But I do see it as cultural appropriation. And as a woman, if you really supported me as a woman, you would say, okay, I respect that. But they don't. They bully you. They call you a bigot. They try to silence you. So that right there is where the left is, like, closeted misogyny, okay? And men, when men try to educate you on it and tell you that you have nothing to worry about, that right there is misogyny. That's like, okay, little girl, I'm going to tell you how it is. So, man, I'm sorry, guys. That's, like, controversial, but that's just how I feel. And this country's in trouble. This country is in huge trouble. They got us, like, fighting over weird shit. Like, Tim Waltz putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. I just learned about that. I was watching football or something and saw it on a political ad. I was like, what the... So he's a man, you know, he says he's all super liberal, which means he's probably all for women's rights, but at the same time, he's a misogynist. He's supporting the cultural appropriation of women, and women are marginalized globally, and we're once again being redefined and put in our place by men. So wake up. God, just wake up. And it sucks because, like, if you talk about that kind of stuff, you know, it doesn't go over well with people. But that's just how I feel. I don't even talk about that stuff in therapy. But this is my channel. This is where I ramble my thoughts. But like I said, you know, I know people from all different types of life, and I judge people based on how, like, nice they are. So, but there is something wrong. Something in women aren't seeing it. You know, women are silencing each other on it. It's just, but I think, so people in general are, like, social creatures. And I think when you're kind of, like, normal and you tend to think the way everybody else is thinking, it's out of fear. Nobody wants to be that person that gets pointed at, and kind of like what I was just talking about. Nobody wants to be that person. But me, that has been happening my entire life. I was born and bred to be pointed at, and, like, oh my God, when I was growing up, like, my weight, I grew up in a, kind of an area in a sort of family where it was really important to not be fat. And I was always chubby. But looking back on it, like, I don't even think I was really all that chubby most of the time. And, like, by my senior year, I was at the gym running 3 miles before school every day, and I got into shape. So, but that was seen as a moral, like, if you were overweight, you were immoral, you weren't smart, you weren't as smart as everybody else. It carried a stigma. So I got to this point where I worked so hard to fit the beauty standard. Like, day and night, I exercised and I ate right. And then when I achieved that, people were fucking cruel, man. I prefer being just a little bit in between. Not, like, super heavy, but not super skinny, because nobody says anything when you're just average. But, like, I think my point of that was, people, I was kind of, like, already exposed to that at a young age, being, like, picked at and pointed at, and so I have, like, a backbone, I guess, is what I'm saying. And not everybody has that, because not everybody has had those experiences, and they don't want to be the odd man out. And that is the majority of people, and that's why everybody kind of thinks the same. Because nobody wants to be the odd man out. It's a hard road when you are. God, like, I remember I used to think I was too ugly to freaking go outside. And, dude, now I'm just like, I don't care. People call me ugly all the time. Ever since I, called J.D. Vance a Chucky doll, man, they've been coming at me hard. But I'm like, dude, sorry, J.D. Vance. I actually did agree with him on something the other day. I don't care much for J.D. But, yeah, so I've learned a lot about myself. The left, yeah, so like the men on the left are closet misogynists. It's really sad. So, and then, you know, men on the right, are more about, like, protecting tradition, I think. And not everybody agrees with that. I'm kind of in the middle. I tend to vote on the right because I am a little bit, you know, like, more on the religious side. But, yep. So, okay, I feel like every time I make a video, I do my hair like this. But, to be honest, it is, like, super dirty. I decided not to wash it because I need to dye it, like, really bad. Sweet. Now I gotta figure out what color eyeshadow I'm gonna wear today. I don't really like to wear blue eyeshadow to work so much. I don't think blue is really a great color on me. So, here's some things, just about my life. So that room over there that sometimes I film in, I got like a new curtain. The wall is painted this like really, really hideous blue. It's like a gray blue, and I can't even describe it. It was there when we moved in 10 years ago, and the reason why it hasn't been painted over is because we had this giant billboard on the wall covering it up. And I think I have it in me to paint a wall. Painting walls and not finishing them is a mental illness symptom. That is my mania, and psychosis just like going like that. I'm notorious for it. So every time I say I want to start painting a wall, people raise their eyebrows. But it's only like this 2 sections, and I'm going to use paint that we have sitting in our basement that has been sitting there just collecting dust. I'm not going to go out and buy anything. And it's, you know, going to be real simple. So, damn it. So, look forward to that. That's where my hamster is. Like, my dog sleeps in there. And my couch is in there. And that's like my room. It's the girl's room. Anyway. Yeah, and I think people, are afraid of offending others, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's not nice to be offensive. To purposely go out of your way and offend others, you should strive not to do that. But, I mean, there's just some things, guys, that we're being bullied into silence about. Like, we should be able to, if you were really for women, you would listen to our voice. You would listen to how we feel about things and not tell us how we should feel about things. Man, it's gotten out of control. I've noticed it more this political season than I've ever noticed it in my whole life. Men rule the world. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, any of that. They think they're in charge. It's in your blood. I think I could do purple and orange. I don't know. I feel like that's a Halloween color. All right, we'll just do this Wet and Wild palette. This is kind of like nice fall. Wet and Wild is freaking killing it, man. They just came out with a Hello Kitty. I have kind of found I don't buy that stuff because whenever companies do collaborations like that, like the quality always sucks. But oh my god, that matches. I bought this for like $1. Usually like discounted makeup and stuff is like garbage, but that's pretty good stuff. Yeah, so sweet. Let's see. I'm doing better allergy wise. They made me take a shit ton of steroids and I carry an EpiPen now, but I'm really disappointed in the pumpkin seed allergy because I've been eating those my whole life and they're delicious and they're really good for you. Typically a low allergy food, so I don't know. Weird shit, man. So, things I can look forward to today. My husband, I have the next 3 days off after this, so really cool. My husband mentioned something about me maybe drinking some Pink Whitney. It's really good. I tried it. It's like a pink lemonade flavored vodka, and you mix it with club soda, ice, and a little bit of grenadine, and it's like freaking delicious. I mean, if you can drink alcohol. I went to rehab like back when I was 27. They put me in rehab for alcohol, but I'm not really like that anymore. I was drinking like during a depression, and now that I know I'm bipolar, I know the alcohol didn't cause that. I was self-medicating something that was already in existence. So, now that I've learned about alcohol, I feel like I can drink it sometimes. And like, if you watch my videos, I don't know how many of you are new, but like my last manic phase, it wasn't like a full-blown episode. It's just little symptoms. I like drank for like 2 weeks and then I stopped. So, I want to say maybe now it's maybe been about a month since I drank. So, not a problem in my life. Alcoholics Anonymous will have you believing that you have a character defect. Alcoholism's a moral issue, but I think it's an addiction. I think people get hooked on it. I got hooked on it. Jeez Louise, man. Coming down from alcohol fucking sucks. Your legs jerk all over the place. You see freaking aliens.